bitch, I already know it. I come with bad weather. They say I'm a storm.
This video is about Sherry Johnson's story on surviving rape and child marriage. Sherry Johnson was born September 11, 1960, and she was the only child, and her future was destroyed before it even began. She lived in Tampa, Florida, with her mother and stepfather. The Johnson family faced some financial problems. Sherry's mother was the only one working in their household, and her income wasn't enough to support themselves. As a result, the family lived in a home provided by the Pentecostal church. Sherry often found herself asking the church's bishop for lunch money. During one of those times is when the church bishop assaulted young Sherry. Sherry was only 8 years old when the bishop ordered her into his chambers and sexually assaulted her. Being a little girl, Sherry had no idea about what just happened. She was clueless about what she had gone through. It bothered her so much that she even told her mother about the incident. However, her mom brushed off her concerns of her own daughter, and her mother assumed that Sherry was lying. The abuse continued, and she eventually began getting assaulted by the church deacon and her mother's husband as well. They all should be in jail, including her mother. To this day, no one has been arrested of any crimes. Many say what Sherry went through was a generational curse because Sherry's grandmother was physically abused by Sherry's grandfather. Sherry should have been protected by her mom, her own flesh and blood, but she didn't, so her mom is just as guilty as the abuser, in my opinion. When her mom found out that she had been raped by the stepdad, she blamed it all on Sherry. My thing is, if your own mom won't protect you, who will? 2 years later, when Sherry was at the age of 10, she became pregnant. Now, I'm not sure which one of these actually occurred because the internet gives two different stories on how her pregnancy was discovered. The first said that there was a blood vaccination program conducted at her school, and then the second says that it was a teacher who noticed that young Sherry's belly was growing and sent her to the school nurse for a checkup. At the time that they learned she was pregnant, she was 7 months along. At the age of 10, too young to even understand where babies come from, it was then that Sherry learned about her unplanned pregnancy. Her mother was furious, but not with her daughter's abusers. This is a sorry excuse for a mother. She was mad with Sherry. She told Sherry that she was making her look bad. Sherry's mother still didn't believe her daughter when she expressed she was raped. When it was time to have the baby delivered, Sherry's mother dropped her off at the hospital, scared and alone. Can you believe her own mother abandoned her to give birth at 10 years old with no support whatsoever? Well, we definitely know who's not getting the Mother of the Year award, because this woman is pure evil. This story is so sad it makes me want to cry. After Sherry delivered her baby, the child welfare services were suspicious and began to investigate the family as well as the church. Sherry's mother panicked and arranged for her to be married to the 20-year-old deacon who had raped her, Alfonso Tolbert, so that he could avoid criminal charges. At the time, 16 and 17-year-old minors could get married with parental permission in Florida, and children of any age could get married with the permission of a county judge if a pregnancy was involved. While the first judge refused to license the marriage of a child so young, even though it was legal, the second judge agreed and granted the license. Sherry Johnson was married to Alfonso Tolbert on March 29, 1971, at the young age of 11. Her mother had the audacity to make her a wedding dress, a veil, a cake. Only 3 people showed up because everyone knew how wrong it was, and they did not want to be a part of it. After they got married, Sherry's rapist and now husband moved into the Johnson's family home along with her mother and stepfather. In spite of being a husband and a father, Alfonso remained quite absent from their lives when required. He was never there for her. She went on to have 6 children by the time she was 17 years old. Because of all the responsibility that she basically had alone, she was forced to drop out of school after 9th grade to raise them. Alfonso would disappear often. It was during one of these times Sherry put him on child support, and he was eventually arrested for failure to pay child support. Sherry was 17 at the time, and she sought help from the Legal Aid Society, which gave her $75 to finally get a divorce. At the age of 19, she remarried, and together they had 3 children. They were married for 26 years before separating in 2002. Sherry published a book about her traumatizing experiences as a child bride called Forgiving the Unforgivable. She is 100% against child marriage and believes children cannot enter into legal contracts. Sherry has stated, you can't get a job, you can't get a car, you can't get a license, you can't even sign a lease. So why allow someone to marry when they're still so young? She also believed that permitting child marriages allow rapists to escape legal consequences of their crimes by marrying their victims. Speaking on how she was forced to marry the man who raped her, she also says, no one actually protected me. They protected him by taking the handcuffs off of him and putting it on me. She finally got through to someone. She was pronounced a hero after the legislature passed a bill prohibiting marriages for anyone under the age of 17 years old in the state of Georgia and her home state, Florida. Sherry is far from done and continues to fight for more states to join the movement. Sherry Yvonne Johnson, now an author, a survivor, and an American activist who advocates for the restrictions on child marriages in the United States. This story was so painful to read. It saddens me. It makes me want to cry. It's just so sad that no one protected her. She had literally no one. Every mother wants to protect their child any way, shape, or form. You even see animals protect their children. Animals. And this one woman decided not to believe her daughter, forced her to get married. There was absolutely no excuse for the action that her mother took towards the situation. And I hope that she prays that the Lord has mercy on her soul, because that is so wrong, so evil. I could never imagine even letting anyone look at my children wrong, let alone let someone touch them and be okay with it. It's really sad. I know the statute of limitations may be up as of now, but there's got to be a way to make some of these people pay. The bishop may not even be around any longer. I'm not sure who's alive, who's dead, but there should be something that could happen. Even if Miss Sherry could file a lawsuit against the judge or the county that granted this marriage, something needs to be done, because it's so wrong. I bet you her mother to this day, now that she's, telling the world her story and the people that know her, I bet you to this day that woman can't even look in the mirror. And after all you did, your daughter is still protecting your identity. I would have told the world who you are. I haven't been able to find any pictures of her mom, nothing, not even of her husband. She kept their identities sealed and hidden. For what though? Like, expose those creepers. Because as a mother, that was your own flesh and blood. You carried that child for 9 months. You pushed that child out. You held that child. That was the first person that child saw. And you mean to tell me you let a 20-year-old man rape this girl, and then she told you that her stepfather was doing it as well, and you said nothing but it's your fault? She's sick, and she needs to be locked up in an institute or somewhere, because it's no way. I just hope that Miss Sherry Johnson sees the brighter side. I don't know how you can see the brighter side, but you have to get through life some kind of way. I know it. And I just wish her all the best. Her children as well, because I'm sure they're shameful of their father. I would be. I wouldn't even say he's not my daddy. I wouldn't even claim that man, because that is absolutely disgusting. I do know there is a special place for those people. Please let me know your thoughts about this story and send Miss Sherry Johnson some love. Thank you all so much for watching to the end of this video. On my channel, I share my pure and honest views on everything that's going on in the world. So don't forget to hit the subscribe button and wait for more content coming your way. Until next time, Lady Storm is blowing this tea out.